Hey everyone, so I'm doing a you, them and us reading today for today's love messages. I'm using my very own you, them and us deck. I do have these in my Etsy store, but I've only got one left in stock. So I have got another set being printed at the moment, but in terms of the stock that I have, it's just one. Okay, let's see what comes through. Angels, universe, spirit guides, what messages. The first message for you guys is actually around resistance. This is actually connected to a cycle that you're repeating. There's a need for you to really work on what I'm hearing is stepping forward in life. You are, it's kind of like you're holding on, but you're holding on in a way where you're really trying to kind of control what's happening in this connection, and that control can come across in a way where you're trying to figure out what's happening next, for example. So for example, booking a reading, and in that reading you're trying to figure out what the next steps are, what they're going to do, and that in a way is a part of you trying to have some kind of control over this connection. And you know, the reason that is a way of you guys trying to have some kind of control is because it's offering you some kind of reassurance, and it's offering you some kind of insight into what you can expect from this. So there's a need for you to be able to really work on really releasing this need to know, really figuring out what are the cycles that you're repeating, which is actually creating a lot of resistance. So the card you got was resistance, a lot of resistance in you, where it is actually, that resistance is connected to it getting in the way of you being able to grow, you being able to, you know, let go of patterns that you might be holding on to because it's offering you some kind of comfort, but actually, my loves, it's something that's actually blocking your own growth and path. So the card on here actually reads, you are in a repeating cycle which is preventing you from moving forward. For you to progress, you need to stop resisting change. You need to let go of trying to control this connection. Your inner light is needing to rise. Allow the sun to shine. You know, and for you to be able to do this, it is about you trusting in yourself, that you are able to work with the unknown. You're able to work on surrendering the unknown. Sometimes what can happen is, you know, we really want to kind of surrender the unknown. We want to trust divine timing, but where it can become quite difficult is we don't trust ourselves. And you need to know, and the one thing I will say is, anyone who's part of a sacred connection, you know, the word that a lot of people will say, it's not for the faint-hearted, and I completely agree with that. But I also really believe that those of us who are part of a sacred connection, we have found ourselves in this lifetime on it because we have that courage and strength to be able to work with it and work through whatever it is we need to work through. So, you know, I feel like for you guys, you need to trust in yourself. You need to stop being afraid of change. And that fear can sometimes come from you feeling like you can't cope with that change. You know, that's not something that you feel you will be able to actually manage, or, you know, you feel like you won't be in control if you kind of let go of whatever control or patterns you're repeating that brings you comfort in holding on to this connection, because there's this fear in it you're not going to be able to cope. But that's wrong, loves. You know, you do have that strength and courage to cope. So, you know, the first message is actually connected to you working through resistance, working through what it is that is getting in the way of your own growth. Because, you know, the one thing you should always be focused on is rising, my loves. That's the one thing you should, the bloody cover of the card, focused on rising. Angels, universe, spirit guides, what else can you share with me about this connection? Messages from, oh, okay, divine masculine message. There's still some, you got I cannot leave yet from the divine masculine messages. I cannot leave the situation I'm in yet. I have lessons yet to learn and contracts yet to complete. There's still things they're working through. These things that they're working through are things that are also creating resistance, but the resistance it's creating here is them being able to step up, you know, step up to the game is what they're saying, but step up and offer you a healthy, consistent, committed relationship. There are still things that they're needing to focus on, they need to learn, they need to work on letting go of, for even karmic lessons, contracts that's still playing out, which is actually getting in the way of them in the here and now taking a step towards you. So interestingly enough, you both are needing to let go. There's resistance in both of you. You are needing to work on what I've just gone through, but there's some resistance in them, and that resistance is around them feeling like they can't take a step towards you. But that's because there's still some lessons that they're learning. There's still things that they need to work through. So they're letting you know that they cannot leave yet. The situation they're in right now, however that kind of applies for your connection, the situation they're in right now is one where they can't actually take a step towards you. There's possibly some cycles. You got Dancing with the Devil card, and there's some cycles, there's some unhealthy patterns that your person may also be repeating. Now, the sense I'm getting is that they repeat this as a way to cope, but unfortunately these patterns that they're using as like a coping strategy is actually one that is creating more blocks for them. So this is them, for example, running, avoiding their feelings, even I just get this sense there might be some kind of addiction here as well. So even engaging in something that probably isn't healthy as a way for them to block out their feelings. So one of the situations that they're still in, they're still learning, they're still trying to work through, this situation where they can't leave yet and come a step towards you, is because they're still engaging in some patterns that are actually not healthy. So there's still some blocks, there's still some avoidance coming up in their energy as well. One of the things that is really important to them, it's very interesting because we've got Show Me the Money card, and in a lot of my personal bookings, work has come out consistently with the counterpart's energy. So having some kind of financial stability, creating some kind of security long term seems to be quite a strong collective energy that a lot of your counterparts, the divine masculines, are plugging their energy into. Not just divine masculines, divine feminines as well, but I kind of feel like when it looks at your counterpart, I've had this consistent message from different decks. So this does seem to be collectively that there's a lot of focus on career, on financial stability. And if we think about kind of what's happening in the world right now in the economic state, and these ridiculous kind of things that are happening, for example, with the electricity bills and all of that, it would make sense why this message consistently comes out as well, because I feel like it is something that it's almost like they are taking very seriously. So they are also putting a lot of their focus on their financial stability and how to kind of work on that. And I feel like because of that, they do tend to prioritize that, then prioritize the relationship or taking any action towards a relationship. With that said, in terms of what you can expect from this connection, there is going to be some movement. So you got Pack Your Suitcase and Incoming. So there's going to be some kind of movement. There's going to be some kind of step that they are going to be taking towards you. This is going to be very unexpected. So with the Incoming card, I'm coming for you. Will I turn up? Will I call? Will I text? You will know soon enough. What I will tell you is I'm around the corner. So this movement coming in from them is going to be very unexpected. They have not decided. So with the will I call, will I text, will I turn up, they themselves have not decided just yet what that movement's going to be. And I feel like they haven't decided just yet because they're still going through their own clearing, their own learning. They're still unfortunately engaging with certain patterns which is connected to avoidance and them not being able to take action towards you. With that said, like I said, where it seems to be moving in terms of what you can expect from this is there is actually movement coming in from them. So there's going to be this very unexpected communication that's going to be coming in from them. They're definitely traveling towards you with the Pack Your Suitcase card as well. Let me just get more messages around what you can expect. So in terms of the current energy, it seems like for you and for them, even in the union energies, the you, them and ours, in the current energy, it seems like there's still some work, there's still some focus that needs to be put for both of you. It's not just one of you, for both of you to work through and release, you know, anything that is holding you back from your own growth. This is about your own growth. You know, when you're looking at things like resistance, so you, for example, working through releasing any kind of control you have, your person working through any kind of avoidance or unhelpful patterns that they're engaging in, that is creating blocks as well. You working through that is you working through your own inner blocks, you facing yourself, you facing your own truth. What comes from that, you working on yourself, is then, for example, actions towards each other. So it's kind of like a ripple effect, but you can't take an action towards each other if you haven't worked on yourself first, because you yourself are experiencing these blocks. So these blocks within you have to be worked on and released for those next steps to happen, if that makes sense. So the current energy is very much focused on working through what is it that is actually creating that resistance in you, and that's for both of you, and the both of you are repeating cycles and patterns that is creating those blocks for your own inner growth. You know, you guys really stepping into your power, but really connecting with your own inner truth as well. But in terms of where it's heading, it does seem like with this movement there is some, you know, there's work that's been done that's helped to release some of that resistance and some of those blocks as well. What else can they expect? Angels, universe. Whoa, too many. Hold on, my loves. Angels, universe, spirit guides. What else? That nearly went flying into my cup of tea. Change. There is change entering. This change is divinely guided. What you will experience is for your highest good, and what is helping you to have union with yourself and another. Open your arms and embrace what is coming. Exactly what I have just said is in this card. So this is, the message is quite clear here, and the guides are clarifying this with this change card. There is change coming in your connection. So that is a message that's come out very clearly. There is change coming. However, there are things that are happening for you. There are things that are happening to you. So this, for example, could be triggers. There might be triggers coming up in you. They might be coming up unexpectedly. You might be having dreams. So I'll use myself as a perfect example. I had a dream a few days ago at my situation, and I woke up and I was triggered. But at the same time, I became familiar with kind of what that is showing me. And it was about me still working on certain things from the past that I need to work on releasing, because there is still this fear in me that this is going to repeat in the future, if that makes sense. So there are things that are happening to you, things that are happening for you. You might experience some triggers. You might even start coming across, I feel like, signs or something to do with your connection, and that's something then that might confuse you, or you might think, oh, hold on, why all of a sudden am I seeing my person's initials or hearing, you know, their name everywhere, and you start questioning what that's about. And it's because there's a lot of change coming up, but in terms of happening for you and to you, you are being guided. The universe is stepping in, and it's almost putting in front of you things that you need to face, for you to recognize what it is that's coming up in you that is triggering you, for you to be able to work on what you need to release, to then come into union with yourself, which then leads to you having union with another. So I'm repeating the message. What you will experience is for your highest good. So whatever is coming up for you, it's for your highest good. Even if it feels difficult, even if all of a sudden you're feeling triggered, there is something in that you need to pay attention to, because you need to work on something that is going to be for your highest good, and is helping you to have union with yourself and another. So like what I said a little while ago, that you need to first work on releasing your own resistance, for example, and your own blocks, because if you're not working on releasing what is blocking you, how are you going to see movement in the connection? If your person's not working on releasing what is blocking them, how are they going to make movement towards you? That block is what is creating that resistance. So you need to first focus on yourself, work on releasing whatever it is that you need to release, then you will see movement. So union with yourself and another, if that makes sense. And you know, with it, open your arms and embrace what is coming. What you are actually being guided here as well is whatever change is coming, don't try and invest too much time into worrying or thinking, what is this about? What is this about? What's going to happen? What's next? Instead, you know, welcome it, open it, trust it, know that it's something you can handle, know that when the time is right, you'll be able to discover what it is that change is showing you and then take the appropriate steps towards it. Now, the other message I'm getting through is this also applies for those of you who are going to receive contact. So I actually feel like there are some of you who are going to receive some kind of contact from your counterpart. I feel like this is going to be something to do with a meetup, but I feel like something's going to happen in you where you're going to start to feel quite triggered by it, or you're going to start to feel quite anxious because you're going to start over analyzing, what does that mean, where is this going, what's going to be said, you know, what are the next steps, are they going to make a move, are they not going to make a move? And you're kind of being guided, there is a change coming. Let go of the over analyzing, because again, go back to resistance. There's a pattern you are repeating that is actually not for your highest good. The change that is coming in this situation, for example, that I do feel like some of you are going to get contact, is about you surrendering, going with the flow. The pattern you repeat that isn't helpful is the over analyzing. The new pattern or the new way of navigating this that they're trying to show you to take on for your highest good is surrender, go with the flow, for example. So I do feel like for some of you, you're going to see contact very soon as well, and there's going to be some, I feel like there's going to be a meetup, there's going to be a suggestion of meetup or something to do with the meetup. Go with the flow. Okay, that was longer than I planned. So that is today's reading, my loves. So I'm now going to pop this quick one summary on my Instagram. Reminder, I'm working through my August mini readings. I think I have about 30 or something still to get through. I had a lot of bookings for this and I've been working on it constantly since Saturday. And I'm down to 3 Sacred Connection video readings. So regardless, you know, I'm still sticking to, I'm going to get everyone's readings done within a week. So by Friday, you know, I'm going to literally start the August mini readings again today, in a little while after this. I'll be sending them out all afternoon and evening, all day tomorrow. So I'm actually starting my work very early tomorrow, and I'm literally working all the way through to late evening. So my intention is that 90% of the August mini readings will be done by tomorrow, and then I've just got my final few left for Friday, and obviously the Sacred Connection video readings will be with you by Friday as well, and then I will do a restock. So I've seen quite a lot of back in stock requests, but I'll do a restock once I'm down to my final lot of the Sacred Connection video readings as well. Right, my lovelies, I will see you again here maybe tomorrow or the day after, but definitely within the next 48 hours.